Should Sean O'Malley step up and face Ilia Topuria next? Before we get into that, though, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe as we have brand new videos every single week. So UFC 299 is in the bag, and Sean O'Malley put on a dominant performance over Marlon Chito Vera. But Mark, before we start to recap the card, Sean O'Malley at the end called out Ilia Topuria, said, "Dana White, send me to Spain." Do you think that fight should happen?
They both seem to want it. The fans want it. I don't see why not. If I'm honest, I don't. I'm usually a bit of a gatekeeper for champions in that weight class. They need to complete the weight class before moving on. But with O'Malley, he's pretty much sliced through everyone who's worth slicing through at bantamweight already. He might as well go up and get this super fight. This is the one time I give it a pass. Give the chance to be a double champion for O'Malley, and give Ilia Topuria the chance to be the only guy to knock Sean O'Malley out. Are you excited for this? If it does happen?
Yeah, 100%. I would love to see Ilia Topuria versus Sean O'Malley. And of course, the real question is, does Sean O'Malley deserve it? No, he doesn't. But nobody cares. It's too fun a fight to throw away, isn't it? It's such an opportunity. They're both in their primes. Both come off fantastic performances this year alone. Get this booked. I think, get it in a few months in Spain, main event. Oh, gorgeous, right? What a card that'd be. So now let's talk about the actual fights that have just been on. So, with such a dominant performance from O'Malley over Chito Vera, do you think that now lays to rest his only loss and kind of essentially proves that Chito Vera did get lucky that first time round?
I think anyone with half a brain cell knew that it was just luck in the last time. You look at performances either side of that loss from O'Malley there. He's never got that opportunity before, and obviously he jumped on it, seized on it like anyone would do.
Yeah.
This performance tonight just proved without a shadow of a doubt, O'Malley is just the more well-rounded fighter. And Chito did get lucky. I don't think you can really claim that Chito, yeah, he knocked him out and let's take that in your stride, because we all know what happened. Sean O'Malley got injured and Chito jumped on it. At least that puts that stupid argument to bed, though, right now with the dominant performance, because it wasn't just a lucky shot from Sean. You can't say that. Beat the living hell out of Chito Vera for 5 rounds. Was you impressed by that performance?
Very, very impressed. I think Sean did such a fantastic job. He saw everything that Vera was putting out there. And I was expecting a finish from Sean O'Malley, but I also think in some ways he can't finish someone who's not pushing forward. He's not giving that chance to counterpunch, and which is fair enough from Vera. But I think it was very poor choice from Marlon Chito Vera to not press forward and not attack, because you saw in between that 4th round, he could hurt O'Malley and he gave him a lot of trouble, but he just didn't back it up. Do you think Chito Vera pissed away his chance here to be champion?
I think Chito Vera might be one of the most frustrating fighters to watch in the UFC. And it's not because I'm not a fan of him, because I actually really do like him. And part of me was rooting for him in this fight against O'Malley. But it's frustrating because he does have the capability and he's got the powers to possess, to get a knockout, to get a finish. But he has short bursts of energy and then he backs off. Short bursts of energy, backs off. If he kept a pressure on O'Malley, maybe we could be having a very different conversation right now. And we could be talking about a new champion in the bantamweight division. But Vera, he realized in the 4th round, but in the 4th round where he had the most success, it was way too late. Time is Chito Vera's worst enemy. He doesn't get going for a long time, and against such a high-level fighter in Sean O'Malley, who wouldn't give him that opportunity, he can't just sit back. He has to push forward and keep that relentless pressure.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the key issue, isn't it? Not everyone's got that championship mindset. You need that ability to go, right, I'm losing, I'm behind on the cards, I need to step forward and take this, like Leon Edwards did against Kamaru Usman. And Chito could have done that. He hurt O'Malley at the end of the 5th, just before the buzzer with that big body shot. If there was 30 seconds left of that fight, O'Malley might have gone down. we might have had a new champion. But there's too many mights here and too many chances, and Chito Vera threw it all away. And it's so frustrating to see. It really, really is. But someone who did take a chance tonight was Benoit Saint-Denis, stepped up to face one of the most notorious lightweights of all time. Number 12th ranked, fought number 4th ranked, and Dustin Poirier proved to us, do not forget about who I am. I am a dominant fighter, and he KO'd Benoit Saint-Denis in the second round. But Mark, let's just jump back to the first round really quick. Did you expect Benoit Saint-Denis to dominate Dustin Poirier as much as he did in that first round?
It was all over him like a rash, though, wasn't it?
Mm.
Instantly, as we're talking, during the live stream, we were thinking like, Dustin is very seasoned. He's been in this position before. It's a 5-round fight. Can Benoit keep this up? If he could keep it up, if cardio were no issue and he didn't get tired and caught, I think that would be just one of the most phenomenal finishes ever, or one of the most phenomenal up and coming fights ever. But again, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If my auntie had bollocks, she'd be my uncle. Didn't happen that way. He had a good first round. And when you're saying, yeah, Dustin Poirier proves that he is still the top contender in the lightweight, what he's also proved is he's not a submission specialist. How many attempts at that guillotine choke did he get?
Oh,
And then
it
he
was
always lands in
frustrating.
the same position, obviously on his ass like a frog, and he's in someone's guard. It got
I
annoying.
loved, I loved when Alex said, just a reminder, Dustin Poirier
Yeah.
has never finished a fight with a guillotine. And I'm not sure why he's done it. He's done that throughout his whole career. It's his signature move, but your signature has got to finish, yeah? This is, if this is a WWE finishing move, that's got to get you some wins. And it just doesn't. And I do not know why he does it. It puts him in a stupid position. But, it didn't matter too much, did he? He got the win. But with Benoit Saint Denis, do you think, Mark, he's got a good future ahead of him? Because I think if he'd have just refrained a little bit, just held back ever so slightly, he could have got the win tonight. It felt like he was going to get the finish in the second, and it's kind of polar opposite. I know to what we've just said with you. If you'd have put the foot on the gas, you'd have got the win. But it felt like Benoit Saint Denis put his foot too much on the gas, right?
Well, he had an outstanding round one, but that pace is ridiculous. I think there's only Cain Velasquez who could keep that pace up throughout the entire fight. It's I really hope that he takes this just on the chin, no pun intended, and moves forward and just like, right, okay, I took a chance. I had a really good first round against the number 4th ranked in the world in Dustin Poirier. Now I'm going to move forward. I'm going to learn from that because, like we just said then, that Dustin's been in that position with some many, many dangerous fighters. It's not like he's going to crumble under it. It looks shocking to watch when Benoit's teeing off, and yeah, he was catching him, but you actually watch it and you think a lot of them weren't landing that crisp because
No.
he's been there before and he's bobbing and weaving, he's avoiding these strikes or not absorbing the full force of them. And obviously, the second that Benoit stepped off the gas, Dustin just applied a bit more pressure and ended up getting a devastating knockout. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, a fantastic performance from Dustin, but I do think this is no slight on Benoit Saint Denis. He's lost to one of the best lightweights to ever do it, and I think Benoit's got a great future ahead of him. And I genuinely can't wait to see what he does next. I think he's going to be coming up for that top 10. And then Mark, we move on to MVP Michael Venom Page making his debut and putting on an excellent performance against Kevin Holland. Did you expect him to make it look so easy against someone so seasoned like Holland?
Don't know what I expected, but I just know that I was absolutely wrong just before the fight when I said I don't think there'll be much showboating in this one. I think they both respect each other. Oh boy, was I wrong!
Yeah.
But I will say now that it was my favorite fight of the night. I'm so excited to see what MVP does next. I'm glad that he's in the UFC. Give him the Michael Chandler treatment. He's a bit seasoned. Let's push him as soon as what we can. You don't need the wild, wiry fighter. You don't know where the hell he's going to strike from next. I expected a bit more from Kevin Holland,
Yeah.
but I didn't think that, to answer your question, I didn't think that MVP would make it look that effortless, I guess. Like
No.
especially just he wasn't tripping him; he was throwing Kevin around like literally like he just couple of combos and then just kick him. It was
Yeah,
just too
yeah,
much. It was
definitely.
too much for Kevin to handle. I think.
Oh, 100%. Kevin was not ready, was it? And, I think I got served a very big piece of humble pie. And because I said in our prediction video, I'm expecting Kevin Holland to run through MVP, and I don't think MVP is good enough. But throughout this whole week, my mind kept changing. Like, oh, MVP looks so confident, and he's proved us all wrong. He's come out and he put on an excellent performance. But I'm curious, what can we expect to see from MVP next, right? What kind of opponent could he fight? Because it seems there's not many options for him at the top of that division, especially a very wrestle heavy grappling division. Whereas I think he might have some problems if he faces up against someone like Shavkat or anything like that.
Yeah, there's quite a few fights that he could do, but I don't think he should be taking a step down and fighting people like Wonderboy just because it'll be a good fight.
Mm,
I think if he's coming to the UFC, he's like, right, I'm going in for the top.
yeah.
So he'd have to take them risks. We didn't see much grappling of him in that fight because Kevin Holland isn't a grappler either.
No.
He can do it, but he's just not. He doesn't really engage in it much. So you never know if he goes against Shavkat because Shavkat can do it all as well. And that wild style, it's so unpredictable. I don't think you can write it off. It
Yeah.
looks. I think you said in the live stream, it looks so crazy and just like like it's a random combination, but it lands.
Yeah.
How many rolling elbows did he land? 3, 4?
Yeah, and they're not luck either. That's the thing. He's purposely placing us, and it looks lucky. It looks wild. It looks crazy, but everything's perfectly planned out. And I'm a bit disappointed, Matt, because I was going to say I think you should fight Wonderboy next, and you've crapped on
No,
that before I've even
absolutely
said
not.
it.
Absolutely not. I think Wonderboy is too far over it. I mean, it'd be a good fight, but I'm just thinking about would I rather see that or would I rather see MVP at what is he, 36? Would I
Take a
rather see
good crack, right? Go for it.
go for gold?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
I'd rather
100%
put him
right.
on that train straight to the top rather than just fun fights.
Well, maybe a good fight that they could do is MVP versus JDM, letter of the initial fight of the initials, go at it, especially after JDM showed how much of a good striker he is, especially in this fight tonight when he got a KO over Gilbert Burns in the third round when he was down on the cards. What did you think of JDM's performance tonight?
I honestly I thought that fight was just heading to decision. I thought
Yeah,
Gilbert was, going to be too much for him, but I think with JDM's knee, that couldn't have been timed more perfectly. And I don't just mean that in the fight, I mean that in where he is in his career, where he is from now on. It was somewhat arguably down on the scorecards. He timed this knee perfectly, knocked out Gilbert Burns, which is a hard thing to do, and then now we'll project him into that future. Because JDM, yeah, he's got his fans, obviously, he's got his Aussie fans, and you get a few darted around, but knocking off a name like that has done him the world of good.
yeah.
He might wake up and he's just got so much more cash in the bank, so many more people know his name, and so many more people are calling for him to fight whoever's next, whoever's in front of him.
100%. And with JDM, this could be a star overnight. He's now projected himself near the top of that division, right near the top of the pack. And, he's a fight away from a title shot now. He really is. That's how quick these things can turn around, you know. But, you know, I think the big problem for GDM, though, is he showed a lot of difficulty with Burns' grappling. I mean, he certainly conquered it near the end. And with welterweight being such a grapple heavy division, do you think he's going to have some issues when he takes that step up, especially when he called out someone like Shavkat Rakhmonov?
He did, didn't he? He definitely could, but let's not forget that Gilbert's one of the best in welterweight at grappling at his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's it's a crazy pace, and Gilbert is relentless. He stays on top of you. There's a lot of killers in that division with high level grappling skills, but he held his own. You know, he was in
Mm,
trouble a couple of times, but you know, he managed to escape out of it, and then he managed to get back to his feet a couple of times. But that's what makes him slightly different. Is it's not just a relentless pressure that he's got to defend constantly. He's seen his opportunity to land that big knee, landed it, and good night. That's all it can be, you know.
yeah. And it was a
Also, it's not as
perfect.
if it was just a no, sorry, I was just gonna say it's not as if it was a 3 round grapple heavy domination. You know, they were both
Mhm.
exchanging, both landing big. It,
Yeah.
it was just written in the stars for him tonight.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? And it was such a perfectly placed knee right on the button. And he timed that spot on, didn't you? Like you were saying earlier, it's there. He saw it, took that opportunity. And that shows to me that, he's got that mindset to move forward. Even when you're down on the cards, right, I'm going to take my opportunity and I'm going to go forward. And we've seen Shavkat have trouble on the feet already. If JDM catches him with something big, maybe he could get Shavkat out of there. And then, Mark, finally, we move on to Song Yadong losing a decision to Petr Yan. Are you glad to see Petr Yan get back in that win column?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm glad to see him that back there. I think he kind of needed it. I don't know if it was in danger of being cut or anything because the last few fights that Pyotr had, they've been good fights, but and it's not through like, always washed. It's the level of the opponent that you've got to give credit to. You know, there's Marab. You know, I fully think that Marab's going to be bantamweight champion. Give him a year and he will be. And then you've got the Sean O'Malley, which is arguably, some people still think that was a robbery. Aljamain Sterling, that was a very close fight. And then before that, he was dominating Aljamain before he landed that very, very illegal knee strike. So, like Pyotr's he's got some work to do to get back into that name value that's common and up in the top level contention in that division. But I'm just glad to see him back. But Song Yadong massively impressed me.
Yeah, his song looked fantastic, didn't he? He's so athletic, he's so strong, fantastic striker, great power. But I think he just needs to hone it in, right? Just play it a little bit cooler in places because he's got all the tools to be an excellent fighter. And he's proved his point that he should be near that top of that division. And I'm excited to see what he does next. And I'm excited to see what Petr Yan does next. I think they've both got some fantastic fights ahead of them, especially in that division. Bantamweight is full of killers. But that's UFC 299 in the bag. Thank you everyone for watching. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really does help us out.